Good morning. Overnight, the White House quietly posted a brand new proclamation from President Donald Trump. It reactivates a sweeping travel ban that blocks or restricts people from 19 countries, and it becomes law at 1 minute past midnight, Eastern Time, this Monday, June 9th. 12 countries face a total shutout. If you hold a passport from Afghanistan, Burma, also called Myanmar, Chad, the Republic of the Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, Haiti, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, or Yemen, U.S. consulates will stop issuing you tourist, study, work, or immigrant visas once the clock strikes. Without a visa, airlines will not even let you board. 7 more nations get a partial squeeze. Visitors and students from Burundi, Cuba, Laos, Sierra Leone, Togo, Turkmenistan, and Venezuela will see their most common visa types frozen, and officers have new power to shorten or refuse other visas on a case-by-case basis. Now, if you already have a visa in your passport that was printed before Monday's start time, keep calm. The proclamation says existing visas stay valid. No one is tearing them out or stamping them revoked. The freeze falls only on new applications filed after the deadline. There are other safety valves. Lawful permanent residents, people with green cards, can still re-enter. Dual citizens can travel on their second passport as long as that second country is not on the list. Spouses, parents, and unmarried children under 21 of U.S. citizens can still apply for immigrant visas, though embassies will demand extra proof of the family tie. Diplomats keep their privileges, and Olympic-level athletes still get their event visas. Children already matched with American adoptive families, Afghans in the special immigrant pipeline, certain U.S. government employees, and anyone who has already won asylum or refugee status here also stay clear of the ban. So, why these countries? The text points to 3 main reasons: terrorism risk, weak passport screening, and high visa overstay rates. The White House singles out Haiti's 31% tourist visa overstay rate and Iran's label as a state sponsor of terrorism. It also notes that some governments refuse to take back their citizens after U.S. courts order deportation, which Washington says clogs detention space and strains border resources. Critics argue that some choices look political. Tiny Togo, for example, appears because roughly 1 in 5 of its visitors overstays, yet larger nations with similar numbers escape the list. Civil rights groups are already drafting lawsuits, calling the measure discriminatory and warning that families and students will pay the price while real security gaps remain unaddressed. The proclamation orders Homeland Security to run a first review in 90 days. At that point, officials can lift, loosen, or extend any part of the ban. Afterward, new reviews come every 6 months. In plain English, the rules could disappear in the fall, or sit in place for years, depending on what each country does and how the courts react. If you are halfway through a visa process and your passport matches one of the 19 countries, move fast before Monday if there is any chance to finish. Contact your embassy, scan and back up every document, and be ready for longer interviews and heavier background checks. If you are already in the United States on a valid visa, think twice before leaving because re-entry rules can shift again with little warning. That's the ground truth this morning. Share this update with anyone who might be caught by surprise. Keep an eye on official embassy notices and stay tuned for the next section where we break down how the ban hits students, workers, and families in real life and what legal waivers may still open a path forward. If you are just hearing about the proclamation, the first question you probably have is how the full ban and the partial ban differ in practice. A full ban is simple. People from those 12 countries cannot get any new U.S. visa until the rule changes. A partial ban is trickier. For the 7 nations on that list, consulates will still consider some employment visas, but they have frozen the most common categories that ordinary travelers rely on: tourist visas, student visas, and J-exchange visas. Officers can also shorten the length of any visa they do approve, so instead of the usual 2 or 5-year stamp, you may get 6 months or less. Let's turn that dry language into real life. Musa is a graduate student from Sierra Leone who finished his first year of engineering school in Ohio. His F1 visa expires next month, and he booked a summer trip home to see family. Under the new rules, the embassy in Freetown cannot renew his visa right now because student visas fall under the freeze. If Musa leaves the United States, he will not be able to return for the autumn semester. Or take Rita, a tech recruiter in Texas. She just filed an H-1B petition for a specialist in broadband networks who lives in Chad. Her company paid the fast-track fee, but immigration officers can no longer issue that worker the travel document he needs because Chad is on the full ban list. Rita will lose her candidate unless she finds one who already holds a different passport. Families feel it too. Jean-Claude, a U.S. citizen in Miami, petitioned for his wife in Port-au-Prince. Immediate relatives of citizens are still eligible, but the embassy will demand airtight evidence. Birth certificates, marriage proofs, financial records, often DNA tests, and interviews will be longer. Missing a single piece of paper can push a case into limbo for months. The State Department says that extra scrutiny helps stop fraud. Critics say it throttles legitimate families while smugglers find other ways in. The proclamation keeps repeating one escape hatch: the national interest waiver. Anyone from a banned country may send a written request arguing that admitting them will serve vital U.S. interests and that they pose no security risk. There is no standard form. Lawyers build the request from scratch. Think of it as a legal pitch deck packed with resumes, reference letters, health or hardship proofs, anything that shows why the country benefits if this person comes. The Department of Homeland Security must respond within 30 days, though approval rates in past bans sat in the single digits. Employers and universities are scrambling. HR departments are auditing every staff member's passport, postponing overseas conferences, and moving critical employees onto third-country assignments so they can keep working. Colleges face the same puzzle. Do they let students go home for summer break, knowing they might not get back? Most advisors are saying stay put. It is the only sure way to hold status until the first 90-day review. That review matters because Homeland Security must file a public report in early September. If a country upgrades its passport security, signs a prisoner return treaty, or drops its overstay rate, officials can recommend lifting or shrinking the ban. After that, the law says another check happens every 6 months, but history shows these timetables slip once court cases start piling up. A word on national interest waivers, because people keep asking. Anyone from a banned country can file one, but it is not a quick web form. It is a thick packet of letters, records, and legal arguments that try to prove the United States gains more by admitting you than by keeping you out. Doctors who tackle rural hospital shortages, engineers with patents in renewable energy, even filmmakers whose work wins international awards have cleared that bar in past bans, but the approval rate is low, and the wait can stretch for months. If you believe you qualify, talk to a lawyer now, not later. Political voices are growing louder on both sides. Supporters say the ban plugs leaks in the immigration system and protects American jobs. Critics call it election season theater that bruises families and drives talent into the arms of competitor nations. The truth is this: whether you cheer the order or hate it, it is real, it is signed, and on Monday, at 1 minute past midnight, it will shape lives in airports and consulates around the world. So, let's finish with a promise. On this channel, we will track every amendment, every lawsuit, and every embassy update. When the government files its first 90-day report, you will hear the results here in plain English. If a judge freezes a section of the ban, we will explain what that means for travelers the very same day. No jargon, no panic, just facts you can act on. And before you go, do me a quick favor. Tap the like button, hit subscribe, and turn on the little bell so you never miss an update. If you know anyone who might be affected by this travel ban, share the video with them. It could save them a lot of confusion. Drop your questions in the comments. I read every single one. Thanks for watching, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next video.